Hello, viewers, and welcome to Reminiscences. Our guest today is Ambassador Aminu Bashir Wali, who at 83 has left his footprints in business, politics, and diplomacy. He served in many positions, which the ones we can best remember were the permanent representative of Nigeria in the United Nations, our ambassador in the People's Republic of China, and I think lately, in 2014-15, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Ambassador, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And can we start with a bit of background of your life in Kano?
Well, I was born in Kano State, in Dawakintofa local government, and Dawakintofa local government, because my father then was a judge in Dawakintofa. In 1941. Of course, eventually came back to Kano, and my father became the chief alkali of Kano. Later became Wali of Kano.
So, Wali means chief judge.
What? No, alkali, the chief judge.
Right.
Shukuma Wali is more like the in charge of all the illegal. All the judges and
right.
in Kano Emirates.
Right.
So I was brought up. That's my background is being illegal. Though I wanted to be a lawyer, but somehow by some virtue of whatever, I was unable to. Though I got admission to legal course in those days, but let me go back to. I went to primary school, then elementary school then, at Overkudu Elementary School.
So in Kano, not in Dawaki?
In Kano, no, in Kano.
Right.
We left Dawaki when I was only 1 year old.
Okay.
So I went to Overkudu Elementary School, and then I also have a stint for 1 year in Gidamakama Elementary School.
Right.
And then I went to Kano Middle School in 1953. Because my father died 52 in December. And I always remember following year, January, I went into middle school.
Right.
It's a boarding. From middle school, eventually we were the first set in Kano Provincial Secondary School, which is today called Rupa College. Were there. I got into Rupa College in 1955, Form 1. And I was there up to my school certificate. And I finished. And then from there, I moved to School for Arabic Studies. Though my first choice was to go and read law. And I applied to go to then ABU, a legal course, which you go for 9 months for intermediate. When you finish the intermediate, then you go to the UK and you study for the bar. I filled my forms and I sent to Kaduna. But when the results came out of the West African School Certificate, based on my results, I was never called for interview in Kaduna. They just offered me a place at Congo ABU's area, which I never knew. They communicated to Kano Provincial Secondary School, and then the school forwarded this to SAS for me to be informed. But
SAS is School of Arabic Studies
yes.
in Kano.
Yeah, but then it was the nucleus or the beginning of Bayero College, which ended up to be BUK.
Right.
Now, the secondary school forwarded this letter of admission in Congo,
Right.
Zaria, to SAS.
Right.
But the principal then, he was trying to build his own school.
Mm.
So in our class, a lot of our mates failed
Mm.
the school certificate.
Mm.
Therefore, he was rather protective
Mm.
of the good material that he thinks can be able to.
Mm.
So I never knew
Mm.
that I had a mission in Zaria.
Mm.
And then
You never knew until when? I mean,
until after I went to Lagos.
okay, so you went to SAS.
Yeah, went to SAS. I
Yes.
started my A levels
Mm.
in Arabic, Islamic history, and English literature. And of course, why I left was I was not happy with the prospect of being a teacher,
Mm.
because the combination that I had for the HSC or for the HSC
High school,
high
yes.
school certificate was automatically wherever you go, eventually you end up as a teacher. And in those days, Northern Nigeria is looking for teachers. And
Yes.
whatever you do, they always send you to be a teacher. So I was not comfortable being a teacher.
So you left SAS.
So in the First Republic, there was one parliamentary secretary, Abdul Koguna, but the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Establishment in Lagos.
Right.
So he came touring northern states to recruit young people
Right.
to go and join the civil service of the Federation.
Mm.
He came to SAS. He gave us lecture. And I was one of the people that volunteered to go to Lagos.
Mm.
So I left SAS after about 6 months.
Mm.
And I went to Federal Training Center, Lagos.
And here you are HSC already.
I started HSC,
Yes.
but
Mm.
then I finished my school certificate with grade 2 and
Right.
took a lot of distinctions and what have you.
Right.
So Shagari said, okay, since we have been here and you have gone a little bit far, there's no point in saying, pulling out, complete the course. So I went ahead and completed the course.
So you didn't feel tempted to leave and then go and pursue this dream of yours of being a lawyer?
No. Well, we have gone a bit far.
Okay.
And the Congo, the ABU, have also gone a bit far.
Yeah.
So there is no way I can go and join them.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, let me just finish.
Yeah.
So I finished.
Yes.
I finished and qualified as a stenographer, grade 2. My first boss was one white man, Mr. Wale. Not Wale, Wale.
Wale.
Yeah, an Englishman.
Yeah.
He was the senior assistant secretary in the Federal Ministry of Works. I was posted to the Ministry of Works. And I worked with that Englishman. And eventually I was also posted in the Ministry of Works to work with the Secretary, Federal Tenders Board. I was the secretary.
Mm.
So it was him. I still remember his name, Mr. Erunse.
Mm. Erumse.
Erunse, E-R-U-N-S-E, Erunse.
Yeah. Erumse.
He called me and advised me, look, you are not supposed to be doing this job from what I read about you.
Mm.
Why don't you go and pursue higher education? So, well, I mean, this is why I said, all right, this was my school in the UK, the Northwestern Polytechnic, which today now is North London University.
Northwestern Polytechnic.
Yeah,
then.
Northwestern Polytechnic.
Right.
So I applied. They replied me based on my submission. They replied me, say, okay, I've been given admission.
Tell me about your experience as a young man from Kano, going to Lagos of those days.
Well, yes,
School and the working in Lagos in the early 60s.
I was lucky because I had relatives in Lagos.
Yeah.
When I arrived in Lagos, it's Abdulkadir Koguna that accommodated us because he recruited 4 of us from Kano. Myself, there was one late Mahmoud Salim. There was Umaru Salihi, who later left us and went into the military. And there's Bello Farouk, and Bello Mitan Farouk. So we stayed in Abdulkadir Koguna's house. And then one Friday, I went in Inoda's house. Me and Inoda are cousins.
Okay.
And the same with his wife. We're also cousins.
Right.
All the 3 of us were cousins.
Right.
So I went to greet her.
The wife.
Because Inoda was not in town.
Yes.
He's traveled.
He was a minister then.
He was a minister of works.
Works.
Yeah. He traveled out for, I think he had some eye problem.
Yes.
He goes for treatment.
But how was it socially for you, young man in Lagos?
Well,
Did you experience any unpleasant aspects of life, integrating?
No. In those days, the only thing is, most young people in the North, particularly the young educated people, they are more inclined to go political and to be NEPU supporters.
Because of the politics.
The politics of those days, anybody from the North is NPC.
NPC.
So that is, but on the other hand, I got involved. I mean, I got a lot of friends who also come from various parts of northern Nigeria.
What of soldiers?
Soldiers, yes.
Your name is always linked with Murtala Muhammad, so I don't know at what
Absolutely.
point you.
Well, Murtala Muhammad also is my cousin.
I see.
We are cousins. As I am cousin to Wada.
Yes.
We are all from the same family.
Right.
Because my father was at one time the head of the family.
Right.
So Murtala was there, and we were very close. Me and Murtala, right from secondary school. He was in Bariwa College. I was in
Rufa.
in Rufa College. Every time they come in for this long holiday, we're always together.
Were you still close in Lagos? Were you?
Oh, yeah, we were close because after all, I'm living in Inoda's house, and he also comes in and out because we're all cousins. So it's a family kind of affair. And through him, I come to know a lot of military officers.
So how was London for you then? This opportunity to break away and study in this school.
Well, I mean, I think I would say I am fairly spoiled. So I was fairly spoiled because one, I have Murtala with me, who was already a captain in the military. And I met my senior brother, Justice Abubakar Wali. May his soul rest in peace. I met him when he was about to finish his law studies in the UK. But I was with him for about 1.5 years before he left. So I didn't find it difficult at all. And I enjoyed my stay there because I was one of the fairly wealthy students because I was able to get in with the BBC and get a program every week, every Sunday, to produce a program called London Calling, London Take Kira. And I was paid by each program £5 a week.
Yeah.
Then I had £20 extra, while my allowance for everything given by the Northern Nigeria government was £39 a month. And then I am able to get another 20 pounds.
Yeah. What gave you the idea to go to the BBC and suddenly become a broadcaster?
Well, while I was in secondary school, another elder brother of mine, Ambassador Omar Bashir Wali, was the first within our family to go to the UK. He went and studied comparative law in London School of Oriental and African Studies. Now, while he was there, then I was in secondary school. You know, I always ran around 3 o'clock, get a radio, sit to listen to him because he's an outside contributor. And
okay, so he also broadcasted as a student.
That exactly.
Right. I see.
So that's how. Now I went to Swali, went there too. He also.
That's Abubakar Wali.
Yeah, Abubakar
Right.
Wali.
He also did the same.
Yeah, he did the same.
So it ran in the family.
Exactly. So when I got in there, I also found a way of making extra money in the.
So you came home with a degree?
No,
or was it a diploma?
With the CIS.
It's a certification.
ACIS.
Yes.
Associated with Chartered Institute Secretaries. Yeah.
So did you go back to Lagos to continue your work in?
No.
Yes.
By some, by the time I came back in 1968.
Okay.
The day I arrived in Kano, my flight came from London, Kano, and then normally Kano, and then Lagos. So I landed in Kano. The first port of call was Inuada's house, Magajungiri. I went in there, and they told me, some of them were crying, "What's happening?" I said, "Police just came and took Inuada away." But it was Gambo, Jamaica. Ironically, he's we became illos. Though we were together with him in Lagos before I went to the UK.
Yes.
Now, it was Gambo that I came to the house and carried him.
He was then in Kano as a senior police officer.
Yeah, he was.
Gambo Jamaica.
Yeah, he was DSP.
Yes, in Kano.
Yeah, in Kano.
Yes.
It was DSP. And DSP security.
Yes.
I arrived. The very day I arrived, so the very day they carried Inuada away. So and that singular action made it's the opening for me to now not to go into the civil service, to go into the private sector. I went to police headquarters in Kano. From the house, I went straight there. And I saw Inuada sitting in the outer office. I greeted him. And then I went to see Gambo. Me and Gambo, we fought. Because I was coming with the air of the UK and you can't do this kind of nonsense. He was shouting and I was shouting. I'm going to lock you out. I say, go ahead and lock me up. As apparently, at the time, we were making exchanges, me and Gambo, in his office. Late Murtala was already in Dodan Barracks because he got the information that his cousin has been, and there was allegation that Inuada was funding Murtala to stage a coup.
So that's the basis of his arrest.
That's the basis, yeah. So they went into the house, searched everywhere, carried all papers, and including some trinkets for the women. That's why I fought with Gambo at that time. Now Murtala was marched into Dodan Barracks, shouting that if it's coup they want, they can have it. And then General Gons said, "Look, who is messing up with Mohammed? Bring him quick. What is it?" So he told me this is what the allegation is, and they got his cousin, and they are looking him up in Kano. Immediately, Akubo called Audu Bako, then governor of Kano. Audu, please let Inuoda go home now. So for that when that happened, maybe I thought after about a week, I'll go to Kaduna and report that I'm back, and then the interim common services will now send me back to my paper, whatever, to Kano State.
Yes. Since they funded your study.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So I told Inuoda I'm going. Now, when they carried Inuoda along, the second part in Kano now,
Yeah.
then was the manager of Senagari, Inuoda's company, transports, and few other things that, you know.
As part of this attempt to probe Inuoda, you said they caught him. They caught the manager.
They caught him and take him away.
Because of his link to Inuoda.
Because of the link to Inuoda.
Yes.
And then Inuoda came home, but they kept the Adokura. So 2 days later, I told Inuoda, I'm going to Kaduna. I'm going to go and report I'm back so that they can post me wherever. So Inuoda said, look, you can't do this to me now. Ado, who is looking after my whatever I have, is being kept there. And of course, the children are not yet fully grown. So please, stay and look after this business was sending.
So be my manager.
Yeah. Up to the time that Ado comes out. I said, okay. Because I cannot really turn him down. So that was the beginning of the end of my...
So you left the civil service.
I never got into the civil service.
You never did. And they didn't question that after training you have disappeared.
No, they're not disappearing. I mean, I went to Kaduna, I said I'm finished and this is what I'm doing. They have no problem with that.
I'd like to explore your years in business. What did you do? Because obviously, I think you became a very wealthy person as a businessman. How long did it take you to do that?
Well, I started, like I said, with Inuoda's outfit, a transport company.
Yes.
And also selling quite a few things in outposts in some parts of Kano.
Yes.
Later, Inuoda promoted or got a partner, Chinese partner, to set up a match manufacturing company. Matches.
Yeah.
So when they came, now, Inuoda decided, okay, look, since Adokura is out, please, you are probably better placed to work with these
Chinese.
I said, okay. So I became the general manager of Nigeria Match and Chemical Industries. You know the old Daily Mail building close to Plaza Cinema in Kano?
Yes.
Okay, Daily Mail
building.
Daily
Mail, the newspaper?
Yeah, newspaper, Daily Mail, which was owned by NPC.
I see.
Northern People's Congress. Because Daily Comet was being printed in Kano.
Yes.
Which was a NEPU, NCNC thing.
Yes.
So MPC does not have any voice anywhere. So they set up
the Daily Mail.
Right. It's a big building that they built next to Plaza Cinema. So I now joined the Nigeria Match and Chemical Industries as general manager with the Chinese managing director. And it was me that went and negotiated of Kano state government to now lease the premises of Daily Mail, because after the coup, parties, so the thing just reverted back to Kano State. So we set up the matchmaking in the company there.
Right.
We produced matches.
Right.
I was all over the place, to Kaduna for printing the labels, and to Lagos clearing our imported raw materials and what have you. So I was there with Wada. And then after about 2-3 years, I realized my limitations. So I went to Magajingari, Wada. I said, sir, I go in and out of Lagos all the time, going to clear goods. And when I was in Senagari, we had an office in Apapa where the trucks go on, and then they get load back to Kano. So I have been settling between Kano and Lagos. There's an office in Lagos for Senagari, also for the matches factory. So I told the Magajin, I said, look, sir, I want to move to Lagos and stay there. Why? I would say, no, sir. I'm going to continue serving match and chemical industries and the Senagari company while I'm still in Lagos, but I don't want any remuneration. I want to go and start doing my job, but at the same time, I'll try to look opportunities where I can also be doing something that is mine.
Yes.
Finally, we agreed. So I went to Lagos. I was staying in his house in Apapa. And then, of course, Murtala was already settled.
Who?
Murtala.
Yes.
Murtala Mohammed.
Where was he then? Was he a minister then?
No.
Yes.
He wasn't a minister.
Okay, this was in the early 70s then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I went there. Eventually, I got involved with one businessman, Alhaji Ahmad Yaro, who is from Kano, but of course is from Elima. So I got involved. I was in my office in Apapa. Called me, say that there are some investors coming from US. He wants me to come and let's meet them and discuss business, because he is not that educated, because his language is difficult for him. Because he does a lot of these, like a BDC, Bureau de Change. So before that, when I was in Lagos, I pop in here, there, pick one contract here, where I make £100, 150, 200, that trying to. Meantime, I was staying in Murtala's house. So eventually, me and that person, we now were able to start doing serious business with a lot of Indians and Lebanese people, because he knows a lot of the Indians and Lebanese people. But these Americans that came in, who were the initial, who triggered my being with him, were 4-9ers. They came in a private aircraft, with a pilot and everything. But then I think they duped him, took his money, and then they left. Ooh. So that was the beginning of my business as an individual, as a personal thing. So I got involved in dealing with certain certain materials for the military. Like there's one small thing that I remember the first thing that I got was from, what's his name? One general, what's his name? From Shandam area. Gave me an order to bring what you put in the air for the artillery.
Okay. Yeah, drums.
Yeah, you put it so that
to protect from the sound. Yes.
So gave me contract to supply them. Very small thing, you know. But how much each? So each one is about 8 naira or 10 naira per pair. So I went to the UK, went where they are doing it, and what the quotation they gave me was a 9 naira or something per thing. I went and found out it's no more than 1 naira for the lot. So I came back. The officer, late Martin Adamu.
Martin
Adamu. He was the what do you call it?
GOC?
The one that buys everything for the military.
Yes, okay.
Quartermaster General.
Quartermaster.
That's right. So I went to him, I said, look, this thing I don't want. So I said, you have given it 9 naira. And this thing is not more than 1 naira. I don't want anyone to come after me and say that I'm being a thief. I said, review. He said, no, we can't review. This is the standard. So if it's the standard, keep it. Because I have always been rather conscious of what is legitimate and what is illegitimate. That's one thing that I never supply. So as we go along, me and that Ahmad Yaro, we started doing some construction here, there, and we started growing. Eventually, we got one Dutch company. We have partnership with them. And I was able to get the contract of 1004 in Victoria Island, in Lagos.
You are aware, I'm sure, that people link you with Murtala and they think that you became rich because of your link with Murtala.
Well, I don't know. Murtala is somebody who is very, very careful in what he does. Murtala never looked for money. It's not his business. One time I went to see him when he was head of state.
Where he was?
Head of state.
Head of state, yes.
I said, look, people are pushing me. People are asking me favors and what have you. So for what? I said, they're talking about oil block.
Oil block.
Yeah.
Big one.
Said people are talking to me about this. Some they want it.
Because they know you are close to him.
Yeah. So he looked at me, he said, look. Well, and she stood to me and him. He said, you see that prayer mat? I said, yes. And that Quran? I said, yes. He said, you know where they are from? I said, no. He said, Gaddafi sent it to me.
Gaddafi?
Gaddafi. He said, you forget about what is happening here. Whatever I do to you, or if anything you do, they'll say it's me. Not on my life. You wait. If this is what you want, I'll send you over to Gaddafi. If you are able to succeed in getting anything in oil, that's your business. Nobody is going to now come and blame me that I'm taking Nigeria's. That's what transpired between me and Murtala.
Did he send you to Gaddafi?
No, unfortunately not. He died before
doing that.
Before doing that.
Is it true that Murtala at some point maybe returned some money to the government and cleaned himself up, as people are saying? I've heard this.
No. Look, of all the relatives we have, I was the closest person to Murtala. And Murtala was the closest person to me. Closer to me than my own siblings. A lot of times, just before he became head of state, I'll come to the house. He said, look, I mean, he'll take his wallet. He will do like this, nothing in there. He said, look, I don't have money to pay for your children's school fees. If you either pay or they'll kick them out of school. I mean, this is Murtala for you.
Mm.
And he is not ashamed, or he will not hesitate to tell me or any of our friends, look, I don't have this. I cannot afford to do that. And sometimes we sit down. He said, Aminu, you see, what my colleagues are doing. I am also human. I want to do it. I would love to, but I cannot. I said, why? He said, because I don't want anybody to tell me anything that I cannot return back to. I treasure my pride.
Mm.
So people have been saying, Murtala, this Murtala. Murtala does not have anything. This I'm telling you.
So when he died, he wasn't.
Not at all.
Mm.
Not at all.
Where were you when he was killed?
I was in Lagos.
Mm.
Now, this is Murtala. The last time that I saw him was on Thursday night. Normally, every day, we go and say Asr prayer, and maybe Maghrib prayer, and then Isha. When we finish, then we leave his house on 2nd Avenue, and then we drive. In fact, he gets in my car, we drive, me and him, and whoever is coming with us will follow me to Dodam Barracks. We go and sit at in the ADC's house, because he did not go into. I mean, it's empty.
Yes, he didn't go into the main house.
No. He didn't go into Dodam Barracks.
Mm.
We go to ADC's house, sit down, and a lot of friends, personal, close friends, they come, play cards or discuss issues, what have you. Now, that Thursday in the afternoon, there was one Igbo friend of mine who were together in the UK. He was successful in the oil business. He came to my house crying. I mean, look at what Sandaoni is doing to me. Because Asiodu has been kicked out of Ministry of Petroleum. Now they are trying to take away.
Awoni replaced Asiodu?
Yeah.
It's a PAMSEC?
Yeah.
Yes.
He was crying. Kept all the documents. Gave me, please help me. Because me and him were
The UK?
Students in the UK.
Yes.
So I said, oh, no problem. Let me see. So he gave me the document that Thursday.
Mm.
And I went to Murtala's house. When we went to the ADC's house in Dodam Barracks around 9 o'clock. So I said, my friend, he knows him. My friend came, this is what they're doing to him. I said, He said, look at these people. These people say they want to go. We went and fought them and brought them in. So now, how can anybody come and deny them what they are able to? They say, okay, look, tomorrow, after mosque, come to my office, I'll sort the thing out. That the mosque he never went.
Mm. He was going to the office in the morning.
Yeah. Mm. So the last time I saw him was about 10 o'clock.
Thursday night.
Yeah. With the fact, with the understanding that I come after mosque, I meet him in the.
Do you think he was careless with his security? People say he was casual about it.
Yeah, I should tell you that. Because, like I said, I was probably the closest person to Murtala. Every afternoon, if I'm in town, I will go to the house. After Asr prayers, he will enter my car, which is a two-door car. We come out, go around, looking at some projects and what have you. Just me and him, as head of state.
You were a fairly successful businessman in Lagos. Was that the motivation for you to go into politics? Because we know Nigerian politics.
No, accidental. Am I going into politics? Yes, I was in politics, school politics, when I was secondary school. I was a minister of food and of games and drama. We have parliamentary system in Rumfa College.
Yes.
Every student is a member of parliament.
Yes.
Then they elect their ministers.
Yes.
So I was elected. Then that will other Professor Dandati.
Yes.
Was a minister of information. Professor Sandha Reddy was minister of food. I was minister of games and drama.
Games?
Games and drama, yeah.
Drama.
Because I was too active, sports-wise. So that is the only politics that I go through. But of course, me and Mr. Abdul we used to go and listen to Nepu lecture in town.
Yes.
We run out of Rumfa College, we go to mass meeting where Aminu Kano and Co. they come in. And of course, Aminu Kano also is an uncle of mine.
Yes.
But he's himself and my father are first cousins.
Yes.
Usman Entata, may his soul rest in peace. And there's one Isiaku Ibrahim, I don't know whether you know him. Isiaku Ibrahim, a short fellow who was very close to
Nasarawa?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
The two of them came to my house in Kano.
Yes.
They said, look, we are coming out of national movement meeting. And there's a committee, finance committee, and we gave you a name as a member of the finance committee of the national movement. I said, who told you to do that? So they kept pushing.
Because they know you have some money.
They kept pushing, they left me, but then they always come in and out. And of course, eventually, a lot of my friends, like Sheikh Kangiwa, blessed memory, and what have you, they now stepped in and said, look, you better come in.
Yes.
So, okay,
So you made an attempt to become governor of Kano in 1983.
Oh, yes.
How was the experience?
It was a very tough thing because, one, politics then was what politics is supposed to be. If you are an MPN, for example, nobody will, no matter what anybody will give you, never go and vote for PRP.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Yes.
So you believe solidly in your party and in the principles and what the party promises to do to people. I mean, you believe in your party.
Yes.
For me, I came in fact, it's by accident even that one. I had a group who now asked me to come and go for the chairman of the party in the state, NPN. I contested. Me and Maudi, you know Muhammad Maudi, we contested. And at the end of the day, they said I lost. So I packed my things, thank God. I came back to Lagos. I went ahead doing my own thing. One day I was sitting in my house in Lagos. Who appeared? Mali Shakarabi.
Wow.
He said, Mala, I said, Alakabatamala. He said, I heard a number that he was a Kadao. He said, a chicken constitution.
You have to come back.
A chicken constitution, PDP. There is no provision for deputy chairman of the state. But we in Kano, we created that deputy chairman. You have to come because if you don't, the thing will not move. I led a team to go and look for a candidate for governor of Kano State. I led the team. The first port of call was Tilman Wafa. Because we were together in Kano, middle school. So I was the person that said the best person to come around for governor in Kano. So we flew all the way to Lagos. We go to Suleiman Baffa, and I presented the case to him.
So those things were done that time. People come to you and say, you are the best person.
Yeah. No, we decided he's the best person.
Yeah. Do you regret the experience of trying to be governor?
I have no regrets. I mean, I think I just felt sorry for Kano for not returning either me or Rimi at that time.
How did you get into diplomacy, being offered ambassadorship to China and the United Nations?
It's equally accidental. I have never dreamt in my life I'm going into diplomacy. During the military dispensation, I held quite a few positions. One, I remember I was chairman of NECO, Nigeria Engineering and Construction Company, which is federal government of Nigeria, 60%, and Yugoslav, 40%. Muhammad Ismail, you know him?
Yes.
He was the first chairman. I was in Brazil doing my own thing. Erodua called me. He said, look, I'm sorry, Isma died, so we have to replace him, the chairman of NECO. And I have already submitted your name. This
is all part of your military network.
Exactly. No, Shehu, we met in Sokoto, 1960, my last year in secondary school. We went for inter-provincial sports. We met in Sokoto, we became friends. In January 60. So Shehu has been a friend right from secondary school. I came back, I became chairman of NECO. And you know, I quit because I don't want injustice. I don't want thieves. I mean, whatever I have, I knew I worked hard for it. Never government involved.
So how did it happen that you were appointed a permanent rep in the US, in the UN?
Well, after the election of the second term of Obasanjo, you know, Obasanjo had opposition within the party for his second term.
The PDP?
Yeah. And then I was his advisor. I was special advisor to the president on National Assembly matters in 1999 to 2003. And our zone, I went to Obasanjo, I told him, Mr. President, your weakest point is Northwest. I told him in his office. So he knew how much I put into second term.
Yeah.
So because of my proximity or closeness to people in the diplomatic area, my trip in and out of New York with Omar Yusufu and a lot of other ambassadors that I know. So I mean, the thing looking, you know, I mean, I feel I like that kind of life. So me and Obasanjo, after 2-3 days after he was sworn in the second term, me and him were sitting, just me and him. He said, I mean, I know you've done a lot, and I really appreciate what you've done. What do you want? I said, you want me to serve you? He said, yes. I said, okay, sir. I can serve you, but I want to serve you outside. Because I've stepped on so many people's toes. So he said, okay. Where? I said, well, anywhere, US. He said, no, I mean, not Washington. I said, look, sir, I don't like the face of Bush. Therefore, I would not want even to go to Washington. He says, okay. UN. I said, well, if you think that is okay, I'm okay by that. So, but I thought you will ask me to send you to some of these countries where you go and rest. I said, no, sir. I don't want to go to be a vegetable. I mean, I want something that really, to be active. So that's how I say, okay, New York, you go.
So did UN come before China? Were you the ambassador in China?
No. First UN.
UN, yes, and then China later.
Yeah, China is Eradua. That's
Umaru.
After in the UN, I did my full 4 years. After Eradua was sworn in, by July, I packed my things without saying it because my mandate, my mandate is from Obasanjo. Obasanjo is gone.
Yes.
So the best thing to do is to move out, to allow the incoming president, Edward, to send whoever he wants, without waiting until you are recalled.
Yes.
I packed my things, I had sent it off, and I left. After about 30 days back in Nigeria, my phone rang. President Edward wants to see you. I said, what for? So he said, he wants you tomorrow 9 o'clock. Okay. 9 o'clock in the evening, I got there. So many people were sitting, governors and what have you. 9 o'clock, he came down. And, because he knows my relationship with his brother and what have you, said, I want you to go to China. I said, Mr. President, this is, in the diplomatic parlance, what I learned. Anybody that becomes the permanent representative of his country to the UN is the height of diplomacy in that. Once you do that, the next thing that you probably will accept is probably to be foreign minister. So I said, Mr. President, I cannot argue with you. When I told him, yes, I know, sir.
Of course, of course.
I can't argue with you. If you say this is what you want to do, I'll do it.
Yes.
That's how I went to
China.
How
was the experience?
No, it was a marvelous experience.
Remarkably, you had no role in Buhari's government.
No.
Why?
Why?
Yes.
Buhari and myself used to be very, very close. The only time I saw Buhari as a president was on Remembrance Day for Murtala, February
13th.
13th, yeah. 2016 at Hilton.
Tell us about the private Amin Wali. I mean, what's your family life like?
Well, my family life, I am married with one wife and I have 4 children. For my wife, we met when we were students in the UK. She's from Kebbi.
So are you retired now? What do you do?
Well, I'm retired because my son is taking over whatever remaining thing that I had going
Politics and business, so everything handed
politics,
over?
because politics, if they still can be able to get something out of you, they still want to pursue you. But I'm withdrawing.
But it looks like you have given up Kano politics to Konkoso and his people after all the tussle.
Well, it's something that Konkoso is somebody that I cannot continue to tussle with. After all, basically, in PDP, I brought him in. God knows I made him what he became as governor. Because if I had said no, he couldn't have. And Rimi...
What did you see in him?
No, I didn't see anything in him. The first person that brought Konkoso to me was Senator Hamisu Musa. He brought him to my house. Said, this is somebody that wants to do this and blah, blah, blah. He's a very nice boy. So I said, okay, I have no problem. But Rimi wanted me to run for governor. He went all the way to my senior brothers in the city to please force me to come and run for governor. I said, no, I've already told everybody. 18 years earlier, I ran for it. God give me. So, okay, now young people have come in. It's not their time. But that was about how many? About 2 months ago, I went to see Ayu. I said, Ayu, said, all of us founders of the PDP, we made very, very big mistake. So why? Said, none of us went for any elective office. We brought rookies who do not even believe in what we believed. And let's look at what we have today. 2 months ago, I was telling him, I said, if you stayed Ayu as governor of Benue, we wouldn't have people with these ruffians. If, say, for example, Adamu Chiroma came and became Speaker of the House of Representatives. We forced Ekweme to be President of the Senate. And other government houses get people who appreciate the values that we believed in. All this nonsense wouldn't be happening.
Yeah. Not in the executive, which many of you became. You became ministers and all that.
Not, well, yeah, that's true. Not in the executive.
Yeah.
Because the survival of democracy, to me, is the function of the National Assembly. Because they can put a brake on the president. They can refuse so many things. Or they can pass laws whether he likes it or not. They can override him according to the Constitution. And it becomes law. Yeah. So if most of us had come into legislature, either in the federal level and in government houses in the states, we would not have been in the mess that we are today. We would not have been. Yeah.
So how do you feel now as a veteran politician? See what is going on now?
Well, what is going on today, from my perception, is not the politics that I know. And the perception of the common man on the street is that all politicians are thieves. So it's not anything good now for one to call himself a politician. Before, it's an honor to be a politician, to represent your people, or to be a leader. But now, they have destroyed that respect that politics bring to people because they are not honest brokers in the affair.
What do you do now, sir? You're 83, you're still healthy?
Well, not really healthy. We're just trying to survive.
So what do you do day to day? How do you spend your...
Spend my time here, and then that house is my office. Eventually became my office. Now my son is there. So there's an office that I go sit down. People come, we greet each other and whatever, and then come back home. Yeah. I spend maybe an hour there, then I come back.
You're mostly in Abuja, no more in Kano?
No, I go to Kano, but Kano is a very difficult place to be in now, particularly being a former politician that I have had. I mean, there may be about 500,000 people who have my number. That's why it's always switched off. Because now, with the situation we are today, Kano is impossible. Because the poverty.
Thank you.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you. And thank you, viewers, for staying with us in this long interview with Ambassador Aminu Wali. And until we meet in another episode of Reminiscences, goodbye.